Story number 1. I always tell him that he looks great. But I don't mean it. He looks about 20 years older than he is, he doesn't wear sunscreen or exercise, and he's gained about 50 pounds over the years. But when he asks how he looks out of insecurity, I always tell him that he looks amazingly handsome and I'm just as attracted to him as I always was. But it's not true, and I feel awful about lying. However, I think I would feel even worse if I told him the truth. The last thing I want to do is to hurt his feelings. I love him, no matter what he looks like, and I always will. Note that I know I'm no prize myself, but I look my age and am the same size as when we got together, but how do I know he doesn't do the same thing to me? Is this something couples just do for each other? This is a confession, so I won't ask for advice, I'm just going to keep lying and feeling bad about it. Story number 2. Hello, I'm Tessa, and I have a best friend, let's call her Kat, and hoping she won't see this. We have been friends since October 2024 and I've never loved someone that much. She's perfect in every way possible, her voice, her attitude, her personality. I could go on and on like this. We spend all our time together, all day, all night. And I started feeling really safe around her, she quickly became my favorite person. As I am borderline, we have met some issues, but for the first time I was doing efforts to keep her with me. She was sometime feeling sad about her boyfriend and I'd be able to stay hours by her side just for her to feel a tiny bit better. Sometimes as a joke we'd say to each other, I'm in love with you, and stuff like that, but we never took it seriously. But recently we were joking like that again and she didn't laugh after saying it and she said instead, you think I'm joking but I'm not, in a very serious tone, which made me question her, and so I told her WDYM and she said that she loves me quite much, and that if I was a guy she'd be with me. Which obviously made me go insane. I was blushing and stuff and I was like, why the fuck is it having so much effect on me? After that I told her that I felt the same way for her, I loved her more than a friend but knew there won't be something between us, she has a BF, and religious reasons too. Recently, we created a small server for our friends, to call together and stuff. She invited a friend of her and we called, her friend was acting flirty on me, jokes OFC, and she went nuts about it. She left the call, the game, and stopped answering. I asked her what's wrong and she lied, telling me her PC crashed, which wasn't true, so I played dumb and told her it was fine. When her friend left and we were alone again, I told her to tell me the truth about what really happened and she kept on repeating, I don't want you to think I'm weird. I begged her to tell me what is it, and she admitted that she felt jealous and compared me with her boyfriend, that she was jealous for him like that too, but she didn't know why she felt the same way for me. She said that she got so upset when hearing her friend acting flirty. That night I told her how I really felt, how I truly loved her, and she did too. We were laughing about it and then I fell asleep on call with her. The next we called her friend again, but she had to go and I ended up playing with her and another friend of mine. And she went nuts again. She sent a bunch of messages and deleted them after, so I asked her, hey, what's up, and she said that she was feeling jealous and insecure again, that something was up these days me, and she didn't understand why she'd be so pissed when her friend is with me. She said, you know, I get that she jokes around and stuff, like it's all flirting or whatever, but honestly, it drives me crazy. Her friend knew why she acted like that, but she didn't want to tell me for some reasons. When I called Kat and asked her what did she said to her friend, she confessed on what she told her last night when I was asleep, and it made my heart go crazy. She told that friend of hers that she was in love with me, and oh man, since that day I'm obsessed. Her I look need help. Is it just for a period? Am I gonna be able to stop loving her? Sorry for all the yap, I just need help. Story number 3. We reconnected in 2022, but the story didn't start there. It started back in 2014, 2015. I met her in Europe. We spent 5 straight days together, barely left the apartment except to get food. The sex, to this day, nothing has ever come close. But it was more than that. It was deep. Intense. Something cracked open in me. I didn't say it then, but I think I fell in love with her during those 5 days. When I left Europe, I told myself it was just a fling. She had just broken up with her boyfriend. I figured I was a rebound, but the truth is, I never stopped thinking about her. I thought I was crazy for still holding on, but I never let it go. Then in 2022, she messaged me out of nowhere on Facebook. She was on a work trip in California. Said she thought of me and wanted to know if I still lived out there. She wanted to see me. And when we met again, it was like no time had passed. We hugged, we held hands. It felt natural. Familiar. Like nothing had ever ended. We kept in contact. Started with WhatsApp. Eventually, she had me download Snapchat, and from there, it was constant. All day. Every day texting, voice notes, sharing everything. Deep conversations. Sexual tension. Emotional intimacy. I don't even like texting. But with her, I wanted to. I looked forward to it. But she still had a boyfriend. That never left my mind. There were times I had to pull back. I needed space. It was killing my mental health. She said she understood, but then she used it against me, made me feel like I was the one disappearing. Then her 30th birthday came. She went on a girls' trip through California, LA, Vegas, and San Diego. She told me she wanted to see me again. I was unemployed. Barely had any money, but I said yes. Because it was her. And she meant something to me. After her trip with her friends ended, she stayed behind in San Diego just to be with me. The moment I saw her, I couldn't keep my hands off her. And she didn't stop me. We kissed. We touched. We slept together. That was when she cheated on her boyfriend. With me. But in that moment, it didn't feel like cheating. It felt like we were together, like we finally had what we were always circling around. We flew to Boston together after that. The whole trip, we acted like a couple, kissing. Laughing. Holding hands. Hooking up, completely locked into each other. It felt like something real. And when it ended, it hurt. We were in the airport, holding each other, crying. Neither of us wanted it to be over. But it was. That was the peak and the beginning of the end. After the trip, she went back to her life. Back to her boyfriend. She stayed with him for months, and only later, she told me she eventually confessed about us. Then she broke up with him. And that's when she started therapy. But even in therapy, she never mentioned me. She told me that herself. After everything we shared, I wasn't even worth a name in her process of healing. She used therapy to feel better, not to be better. She wanted to get past the guilt, not face what she actually did to me. And when I finally tried to speak my truth, I tried to tell her what I went through, how she compartmentalized me, how she erased me. She snapped, called me the victim. Said I made it all up. Said she had her version and I had mine. But I know what I lived. I know how I loved her. And I know how deeply I showed up, in ways she never did. Maybe to her, I was just a distraction. A fantasy, something to make her feel alive while she felt trapped. But to me, she was the one I never stopped thinking about. The one I waited for. The one I gave myself to, even when it hurt, even when I knew the risk. She showed me what it feels like to love someone who can't face their own reflection. She taught me that some people will ask for your heart, then run the second they feel it in their hands. I loved her. And I probably always will in some way. But now all I have is silence. And the truth that I was never really part of her story, just someone she kept in the shadows. And now I have to live with that, somehow let that be enough. Story number 4. We've known each other for a while, but we're both somewhat avoidant. We don't open up easily. But one day, I assured you that someone will accept you. Our dynamic shifted after that. It was blurred between respect and love. It was most definitely a confession, if anything. A confession that we both reciprocated. We got closer. For months, we would view each other's profiles on social media. Sometimes send each other videos. It was an unspoken language we both understood. Eventually, we stopped doing it. But, you still sent me a video personal to me. Something you knew I enjoyed. I did like it, but I can't do anything more. I have to set a boundary, and you know that. We got too deep. We're just avoidant.